Hey guys, I hope all of you are doing great, and in today's video we are going to see that if you have to create a campaign for search from scratch in Google Ads dashboard, how exactly you can do this. So for this I'll take you through each and every step that if you're very new to let's say Google Ads and you want to create a search campaign, then what are the different settings that you may come across. We'll see all of them one by one. Now guys, to create a search campaign, it's really important that you have already created your Google Ads account. If you have not created this already, you can simply click on the link which might come anywhere around here and get to the video where you first create your Google Ads account. So once you've created your account, let's quickly go and check that how exactly you can now create your own search campaign. So for this, I have already logged into my account. Now the first setting that you end up getting over here is going to be that of campaign objective. Now guys, one thing that you have to remember is campaign objective works more like a guidance system for you, wherein depending on the objective that you select, your upcoming settings are going to change. So whatever is your brand objective that you want to achieve, whether you want to achieve sales, leads, traffic, based on that, you'll simply select any one of these objectives that you see right over here. Now, in case if you want to create your campaign without any guidance from Google, you can also select this last option of create a campaign without guidance. But let's say in case you do need Google's guidance and you want to create a search campaign, then you can only and only choose out of these three objectives which are available. So you can either choose out of sales, or you can choose out of leads, or you can choose out of website traffic. In case you end up selecting some other option, let's say if you select app promotion, awareness and consideration, or local store visits, in this case, then you will not be able to create your search campaign. So let's say if I want to drive my sales for any e-commerce brand, in that scenario, now what I'll do over here is I'll simply go ahead and choose this objective of sales. After I've done this, the next step would be to select my conversion goals. Now guys, whatever actions you want to track on your website, actions which are really important for you, you can go ahead and add all of those conversion goals or actions right over here in the next step. Anything which is not important for you, let's say submission of lead forms is not important for me, so I'll simply remove it. Similarly, let's say I do not want to track add to carts either, it's not important for me, so I'll remove this as well. In case you want to add any goal which was not already listed down over here, simply click on add goal and then you will be able to select those goals. Now guys, I am able to select those goals right over here because I have created them already in the account. If you have not created them already in the account and you're not sure of the steps which need to be followed there, you guys can let me know and I'll share the steps which are needed to create your conversion actions. Now, once you have added your conversion goals right over here, let's click on continue. Since we want to create a search campaign, so I'll click right over here. I want to focus on website visits. So this is where you can now share the URL of your website. So once that is done, let's click on continue. Let's give a campaign name over here. So let's say I want to focus on purchases. So this is what I've written down: sales, search and purchases. Let's click on continue again. Now you'll start getting your different settings of the campaign one by one. Let's see what these settings are. So first and foremost, the setting that you end up getting is your bidding strategy. With bidding strategy, now Google wants to know that what exactly is it that you want to focus on. Do you want to focus on driving orders? Do you want to focus on driving the traffic on your website? Do you want to focus on driving revenue? So this is what you will be telling to Google right over here, that what exactly is your focus. Now guys, these terminologies might be new for you, so let's understand what each of these different terms means. Now conversions over here simply refers to the actions that you are tracking and the actions for which you are creating this entire campaign. Let's say for me, if my conversions are purchases, that is what I need to focus on, and I want to drive as many purchases as possible, then I'll go ahead and select this in my bidding strategy, conversions. If the focus is on driving revenue out of it, in that scenario, I simply select the second option, which is conversion value. Now, let's say if I do not want to focus on purchases, I do not want to focus on their value, but instead, let's say maybe I want to simply drive traffic on my website. In that case, I select this option, which is clicks. Now what happens there is that Google will focus on getting those users for me who will actually click on my ad and come to my website. Similarly, the last option over here is that of impression share. In very simple terms, impression share simply means that let's say if 100 people are searching for your ad, then to how many people would you want to show your if 100 people are searching for a specific term, for example digital marketing courses, then to how many of those people you would want to show your ad. So in this case, depending on your need, you can select any one of them. So let's say if I simply want to focus on driving as many purchases as possible, so in that scenario, now what I'll do is I'll simply select conversions. Now, along with this, you see this one more option right over here, which is set a target cost per action. So if there is any target that I want to achieve, that let's say I need to get this one purchase by spending 100 rupees, or let's say I can at most spend 500 rupees to get that purchase. So if that is the case, in that scenario, what you can do is you can simply select this right over here and then specify that what is your target for getting that conversion, for getting that action. Now, if you're running your campaign for the very first time, let's say it's a new campaign, it's a new account, it is not recommended to add any sort of amount over here. Because if you do that, then you will be restricting your campaigns. Google will not have a lot of freedom to find out people who, let's say, could react well to the brand that you're building or the products that you're selling, which is why it's important that you first start with conversions, and after that, once you have an understanding that let's say maybe your user is converting in 500 rupees for me, which means when I spend 500 rupees, then they end up taking that action on my website. If you have that information after running the campaigns, then you can go ahead, select this option and add your target CPA. Let's skip this. This is not very important for you. Let's move to next. Now the next setting that you see right over here is of networks. Now this is where you will tell Google that where exactly would you want to display your ad. So there are basically these different networks wherein you can display your ad. So let's say first and foremost, if somebody simply goes to Google, so if I type over here buy laptop online, I may end up seeing different ads. So right now I see this one ad which happens to be run by Amazon. So this is where results are being displayed on Google search. There might be some other websites as well wherein people search for something and then results are displayed. For example, let's say if I go to my YouTube and if I try searching something there, let me search for digital marketing courses here. Let's say digital marketing course in Delhi. Now I am a user who made a search, but this search did not happen in Google search engine, but rather I went to YouTube, I made a search right over here, and now I see this ad which happens to be run by this specific advertiser. Now in case, let's say if you end up selecting the first option right over here, which is that of Google search partners, then all those websites which have partnered with Google and where a search is required, your ads will be displayed there as well. For example, if somebody let's say simply comes to YouTube, they search for something, the let's say term that you're trying to target in your campaigns, then they'll end up seeing your ad. They may end up seeing your ad right over here on YouTube. The next setting that we have within network, the second option which we have is that of Google Display Network. Now guys, when it comes to Google Display Network, so this is where your ads may be displayed to users even when they are not searching for it. So this is where your ads are displayed on all those websites which have partnered with Google. So again, which do not explicitly require some search to be made. For example, there could be a person who is simply reading an article on Times of India and your ads end up getting popped up there. So generally, Google spends money on display network only and only after it has exhausted all its options on showing your ad either on Google search or the search partners network. So in this case, if I have to show you guys an example of what it could look like. So these ads that you see right over here, so all of these happen to be your ads. Now these are your display ads. Right over here, it's also quite possible that your search ad could be displayed if let's say the intent of the user happens to be very high. So to share an example, this is what it is going to look like. So let's say if you're simply looking forward to gaining qualitative traffic, in that scenario you can simply focus on the first option. But if your aim is to scale up your campaigns and simply reach out to as many people as possible, then you can also select the second option right over here. The next option that we have is that of locations, wherein you can enter any location that you're trying to target. Let's say if I want to target 20 kilometers around Delhi, so I'll simply select radius right over here and let's write Delhi. Let's click right over here, let's save this, and now I'm targeting 20 kilometers around Delhi. We also have these two options right over here. So let's say if you want your ads to be showcased to all those people who are actually present in Delhi, select the second option. But if you also want to show your ad to people who are, let's say, either present in Delhi or might be interested in that location, then you can select the first option. How does Google get to know if people are interested in that location? By simply looking at their history and the kind of content they've been consuming. For example, if my history looks like flights from Mumbai to Delhi, best places to eat in Delhi, best let's say historical places to visit in Delhi. So in that scenario, even if I'm not present in Delhi and an advertiser has selected this option, I may still end up seeing the ads. Now we can skip this part. All of this is not important. We now come to this this another setting, which is of audience segments. In case of search campaigns, even this is not very important and you can skip it. Let's say once you have formed your basics and you want to understand your users better, so that is where this will be utilized. So for now, we do not need it. We do not have to make any sort of changes here as well. And now let's click on next. Now this is a new feature which has been launched by Google, which is why you see the word beta written over here. Now with this feature, let's say if again you simply want to scale up your campaigns, then you can go ahead and switch this toggle on. But given that the feature is still in beta phase and you might not need to scale up your campaigns right now, you would given that it's your very first campaign, so you can go ahead and continue by clicking on next. Okay, let's skip this as well. Now guys, right over here, you will be required to enter those terms that you're trying to target, which means that what is it that your user is searching for. Let's say I happen to run a digital marketing course. In that scenario, what I can do is right over here, I can target keywords like these. Similarly, let's say I also want to target some more keywords like Google Ads course, Meta Ads course. So I'll also write the same over here. Now, once you've specified that these are the searches that you would want to target, your potential users are making these searches out there. Then we go ahead to the next setting, which is going to be that of ads. Now this is where you will be creating your search ads. So wherever you want users to land, for example, if you want users to land on a specific website, go ahead and enter your final URL right over here. Now let me enter any URL for now. Let's say google.com. Now you can enter some headlines which you would want users to see. So let's say since I am targeting keywords which are related to digital marketing course, so my headlines can also be around the same. So let's say digital marketing courses, enroll for online classes now, Google and Meta Ads course. So you will be required to add at least 3 headlines over here, and you can add 2 descriptions. So let's say enroll in the best digital marketing course now. Covers different types of ads like Google ads and Meta ads. Now guys, I've simply written some headlines and descriptions, but you could write much better headlines and descriptions, of course. So as you keep on adding more headlines over here and more descriptions, your ad strength will also improve. So let's say if I add a couple more headlines over here, let's see how this ends up improving. So if I write over here, let's say best course in India. So as I added one more headline, you saw that my ad strength now increased from poor to average. Similarly, as you keep on adding more unique headlines and you're covering all those searches that you're actually targeting, your ad strength will also keep on improving. Now, once that has been done, we scroll down and let's click on save, and then let's click next. Now guys, there are much more technicalities which might be involved in some of these settings, like wherein you had entered your keywords or headlines, but this is a very basic brief on how exactly your search campaign can be set up. In case you guys want to learn about more advanced things, for example, how do I ensure that my searches are very targeted, I'm not getting some irrelevant searches where my ads are getting triggered, you guys can let me know in the comments, and then I'll create a detailed video sharing about all those technicalities there. Now after that, what I'll do next is I'll enter my daily budget, which simply means that how much is it that I'm willing to spend on a daily basis. So let's say if I want to spend maybe 500 rupees daily, that is what I'll be writing over here. And then again, let's click on next. Now this is where your entire campaign will be reviewed. In case there is any sort of error, it will be displayed right over here. Now guys, given how conscious Google is when it comes to ensuring security of its users, it is recommended that you guys do your two-factor authentication. So when you get a pop-up like this, and if you click on cancel, your changes will not be saved, which is why it's very, very important that you guys complete your two-factor authentication. So I'll click on confirm right over here. Now let's say there is an error in campaign settings right over here. So this is how Google will very clearly let you know that there is a mistake that you have made. So if you're not able to publish your campaign, simply find out what that mistake is and rectify it. All you have to do is simply read through what Google is sharing with you. So in this case, let's click on campaign settings right over here. Let's see what is it that we have missed. So since we had not selected this is why we were getting an error over here. Since we are not really focusing on any EU related political ads, let's simply select no over here. And then let's move to the last step. Let's click on next and let's review our entire campaign now. Now guys, once all of this has been done, you'll get this publish campaign button right over here. So let's click on publish, and with this your campaign should now get published. So let's go ahead and see if we are able to find our campaign right over here. So this is our campaign which we had created, sales, search, purchases. So this is how your entire search campaign can be created. Now guys, remember what I told you, that this happens to be a very brief setup, a very brief video on how exactly you can set up your campaign for Google. In case there are more details that you need, or in case you have any question related to search campaigns, please feel free to drop it in the comment section below. I'll see you guys later then. Bye bye.